Have you ever thought that the foods you carefully store in your refrigerator could quietly harm your health? Many of us believe that placing food in the fridge is always safer and helps it stay fresh longer. But the truth is much more complicated. Some familiar foods, if stored improperly in the refrigerator, not only lose their nutritional value, but can also negatively impact joint health, digestion, and overall wellness, especially for older adults. According to a report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in the United States, cases of food poisoning among seniors are on the rise. This is due to weakened immune systems and changes in nutrient absorption. What is troubling is that many of these cases originate from foods that seem completely safe and are stored in the very fridge we rely on at home. In the next part of today's video, we will explore 3 common foods that can pose hidden dangers if stored the wrong way in the refrigerator. These are tomatoes, garlic, and coffee. The detailed analysis will help you understand why storage methods matter so much and how to protect your bones, muscles, and digestive system each day. These insights are not only based on real-life experiences, but are also backed by trustworthy scientific research from Harvard University, the National Institute of Nutrition, and other reputable journals. Stay with us until the end of the video, because I will also share a few simple yet highly useful kitchen tips that you can start using right away without making big changes to your daily habits. Just a few small adjustments today may lead to a big difference in your health tomorrow. Are you ready? Let's begin. 1. Tomatoes. If there is one food in your kitchen that is easy to find delicious and widely trusted for its health benefits, it is probably the tomato. Tomatoes are not only a main ingredient in many dishes from east to west, but they are also praised for their high vitamin C content, strong antioxidants like lycopene, and various minerals that support heart health, skin vision, and the immune system. However, there is one thing many people have never thought about. Storing tomatoes in the refrigerator, something that may seem like a good idea, can actually lower their nutritional value significantly and may even harm your health over time. Let's start with something that seems simple. The biological structure of the tomatoes are tropical fruits that prefer warm temperatures and good air circulation. When you place tomatoes in the fridge, where temperatures are usually below 10 degrees Celsius with high humidity, you are putting them in an environment that does not suit their structure. According to a study by the University of Florida, cold temperatures stop the activity of enzymes in tomatoes, which interrupts their natural ripening process. As a result, tomatoes lose their aroma, taste bland, and become soft and watery, losing the natural sweetness and juicy texture they once had. But the effects go beyond taste and texture. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry shows that tomatoes kept in the fridge for more than 48 hours can lose up to 65% of their vitamin C, one of the most important antioxidants for immune function and collagen production. For seniors, vitamin C not only boosts the immune system, but also supports iron absorption, slows aging, and helps maintain joint health. When vitamin C is lost due to improper storage, the benefits you expect from tomatoes become almost meaningless. Another point to note is lycopene, the compound that gives tomatoes their red color, is also affected by cold storage. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant widely studied for its ability to reduce inflammation support, heart health, and even slow the development of some chronic diseases. However, the cold and humid environment inside the fridge breaks down lycopene's structure, reducing its biological activity. As a result, even if you continue eating tomatoes every day, your body may only receive half of the expected benefits. So what happens if you keep eating cold-damaged tomatoes over time? For older adults, the digestive system is often weaker. Digestive enzymes decrease, and the body's ability to process food is not as strong as before. Cold tomatoes tend to be mushy and more likely to ferment if bruised, which can cause indigestion, bloating, or increased stomach acid. In some cases, people may feel nausea or mild digestive discomfort after eating tomatoes straight from the fridge. This becomes especially important if you are taking medication or have digestive issues such as ulcers, acid reflux, or irritable bowel syndrome. There is another risk that not everyone knows. Chilled tomatoes can have changes at the cellular level, forming watery spots, wrinkled skins, and internal breakdown. While not immediately dangerous, this is a sign of oxidation, which lowers the quality and safety of the tomato. When used in cooking, these tomatoes produce less flavorful meals, lack color, and no longer provide the nutritional value they should. Another study from the University of Cambridge revealed that tomatoes continue to develop flavor and nutrition even after being harvested, but only if kept at room temperature. This process is completely stopped if the tomato is refrigerated too early. This means that if you buy unripe tomatoes and store them in the fridge right away, you are halting their natural development. When you later use them, you are eating a fruit that is frozen in time, never reaching its full flavor or nutritional potential. So what is the best way to store tomatoes, especially for older adults? The answer is to keep them in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. The ideal temperature is around 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, the typical room temperature in most homes. If the tomatoes are fully ripe, they can be used within 3 to 5 days without concern about spoilage. If the tomatoes are overly ripe and you do not plan to use them immediately, you can wash them, let them dry, and turn them into sauces, smoothies, or cooked dishes, then store them in the freezer using airtight containers. This preserves their nutrients far better than leaving raw tomatoes in the fridge where they gradually lose quality. You should also avoid placing tomatoes near foods that absorb smells easily, such as milk fruit or eggs. Tomatoes release ethylene, a natural gas that accelerates ripening, and if placed near other foods, it can cause them to spoil more quickly. That is why tomatoes should be stored separately, ideally in a basket or ventilated container, not in airtight plastic bags. From a nutritional standpoint, tomatoes offer many benefits for bones and muscles. In 100 grams of ripe tomatoes, there are about 13 milligrams of vitamin C, 0.6 milligrams of iron, 237 milligrams of potassium, and around 0.05 grams of fiber. Potassium helps balance electrolytes and prevents muscle cramps. Vitamin C aids in tissue repair and reduces joint inflammation, and lycopene protects muscle cells from damage caused by free radicals. However, all these benefits only come into play when the tomato structure remains intact and is not degraded by cold storage. If you are looking for a simple way to improve your health every day, start by reviewing how you store tomatoes. By making just one small change, not putting tomatoes in the refrigerator, you can retain all the valuable benefits that this fruit offers. You will notice the difference not only in the taste of your meals, but also in a lighter feeling in your body, a more stable digestive system, less muscle fatigue, and more flexible joints each morning. Have you ever stored tomatoes in the fridge? After today's discussion, what surprised you the most? Leave a comment and share your experience. Sometimes just one small change today can lead to a big improvement in your health tomorrow. 2. Garlic. If tomatoes are a nutritious fruit that can lose their benefits when stored in the refrigerator, then garlic is a perfect example of a food that can become dangerous if kept in the wrong place, especially in the fridge. For many people, garlic is not only a spice that adds flavor to food, but is also considered a kind of natural medicine with many positive effects on heart health, immunity, and inflammation. However, very few people know that garlic, especially when peeled or minced, can become a perfect environment for a very dangerous type of bacteria to grow if stored incorrectly in the fridge. That bacteria is called Clostridium botulinum. Fresh whole garlic bulbs, when stored in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight, can last for several weeks without spoiling. But when garlic is placed in the refrigerator, the high humidity and the cold air causes the garlic cloves to absorb moisture and begin sprouting more quickly. Sprouted garlic is not toxic, but its flavor and texture change, becoming more pungent and bitter. At the same time, this process reduces the levels of beneficial compounds like allicin, the key compound responsible for garlic's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and heart-supporting properties. Even more dangerous is when garlic is chopped and mixed with cooking oil for future use, then stored in the fridge. Many people do this, thinking it will help garlic stay fragrant longer and make cooking more convenient. But in reality, a mixture of minced garlic and oil, kept in a cold environment without added acid, becomes an ideal condition for the growth of Clostridium botulinum. This bacterium causes botulism, one of the most dangerous forms of food poisoning, which can lead to muscle paralysis and even death if not detected and treated in time. According to the United States Food and Drug Administration, garlic and oil mixtures must be acidified with vinegar or lemon juice to lower the pH and then stored in the fridge for no longer than 1 week. However, many people are in the habit of keeping jars of garlic oil for months, sometimes not even refrigerating them without realizing they are putting their health at serious risk. Older adults, especially those with weakened immune systems or who are taking immunosuppressive medications, are particularly vulnerable to this type of bacterial infection. Also, when garlic is kept in the refrigerator for too long, the enzymes inside lose their activity, especially allanase, the enzyme responsible for activating the formation of allicin when garlic is crushed. This means that if you store garlic in the fridge for too long, even if it is unpeeled when you use it later, it may no longer have the antibacterial and antioxidant effects you expect. Garlic that has lost its medicinal value becomes just a regular seasoning, no longer providing the health support it once did. Nutritionally, each clove of garlic contains about 5 calories, 1 gram of carbohydrates, and only around 0.2 grams of protein. But what makes garlic special lies in its active sulfur compounds, such as allicin diallyl disulfide and S-allylcysteine. These compounds have been widely studied and shown to have anti-inflammatory properties, lower blood pressure, support blood cholesterol levels, and especially boost immune function. Allicin can also kill bacteria, fungi, and even certain viruses. That is why proper garlic storage is so important if you want to use garlic as a health-supporting food, not just as a cooking ingredient. Some older adults may have heard of or used traditional remedies involving garlic, such as holding garlic in the mouth for sore throats, roasting garlic to treat coughs, or drinking garlic soaked in honey to boost immunity. These methods are actually supported by science as long as the garlic is fresh and used correctly. But if the garlic has gone bad, sprouted, or lost its activity due to improper refrigeration, then those home remedies will no longer work. In fact, they could even cause unwanted side effects, such as stomach irritation, nausea, or indigestion. So how should garlic be stored properly in everyday life? The answer is very simple. Whole bulbs of garlic should be kept in a dry, cool place with low humidity and no direct sunlight. Store garlic in a bamboo basket, mesh bag, or ventilated container. Do not use plastic bags or sealed boxes because they trap moisture and lead to mold. If you have already peeled the garlic, store it in a tightly sealed container in the refrigerator and use it within 24 to 48 hours. Never keep minced garlic in oil for too long unless it has added acid and is properly refrigerated. If possible, it is best to crush garlic and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking. This allows the enzymes in garlic to activate and produce allicin more effectively. If you are using garlic to support your health, remember that fresh garlic always works best. Cooking garlic at high temperatures will reduce the effect of its active compounds. So try adding garlic to your dishes near the end of cooking, or stir-fry it lightly on low heat instead of deep frying it at high temperatures. You can also enjoy raw garlic by mincing it and mixing it with olive oil, lemon juice, and vegetables as a gentle dressing for salad. Garlic is a gift from nature, but if used the wrong way, it can cause serious consequences. For older adults, garlic offers many precious benefits, like improving blood circulation, reducing joint inflammation, supporting respiratory health, and strengthening immunity. But to receive those benefits, you must pay attention to how you store and use garlic each day. Do not let a habit that seems harmless, like keeping a jar of garlic in the fridge, take away the valuable properties that garlic can bring. Are you currently storing garlic in the fridge? After today's information, what will you change? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Sometimes the smallest details in the kitchen are the keys to helping you live a healthier and safer life every day. 3. Coffee. If you are an older adult and have a habit of drinking coffee every morning, you are not alone. For many people, a warm cup of coffee in the morning is not just a way to start the day, but also an important part of daily life. Coffee helps boost alertness, supports mood, increases concentration, and can even offer health benefits when consumed in moderation. However, there is one thing that very few people pay attention to. Storing coffee improperly, especially by placing it in the refrigerator, can ruin its flavor, reduce its nutritional value, and even negatively affect your digestive system and heart health if consumed regularly. Coffee, whether in whole bean form or ground into powder, is very sensitive to moisture, odors, and temperature. According to experts from the University of California, coffee is highly absorbent. When you put coffee into the refrigerator, where humidity changes frequently every time the door is opened, it starts to absorb moisture from the cold air. This causes coffee beans or grounds to clump together, lose their crispness or fluffiness, and develop mold or fermentation if kept too long. Even if you do not see mold with your eyes, oxidation is still happening silently, significantly reducing the quality of the coffee. Another important factor is that coffee easily absorbs odors from other foods in the refrigerator. The fridge is a place where all kinds of foods are stored: fish, meat, vegetables, ripe fruit, cooked dishes. And when these foods release smells, coffee acts like a sponge and soaks them up. The result is that you might brew a cup of coffee in the morning and suddenly taste a hint of onion or stewed fish. This is not something anyone enjoys, and it definitely takes away from the relaxing experience that coffee is meant to bring. From a chemical standpoint, coffee contains many compounds that are easily altered when exposed to moisture and air. Roasted coffee beans contain more than 800 different aroma compounds, including organic acids, polyphenols, antioxidants, and caffeine-related substances. When coffee becomes damp, these compounds quickly break down, causing the coffee to lose its aroma and reducing the health effects it can provide. A study from the Harvard School of Public Health showed that when coffee is stored in high-humidity environments, its antioxidant content drops noticeably after just a few days. There is another issue that is not often mentioned, but is very relevant for older adults. Damp coffee can disturb digestion. Coffee already has a mildly acidic nature and can stimulate the stomach to produce more acid. If you drink coffee that has started to ferment or spoil, you may experience bloating, indigestion, nausea, or a dull ache in the upper abdomen. People with a history of acid reflux, stomach ulcers, or digestive disorders should be especially careful to avoid using coffee that has not been stored properly. Some people think that putting coffee in the fridge helps keep it fresh longer. But in fact, every time you open the refrigerator door, the sudden change in temperature causes condensation to form on the surface of the coffee beans or grounds. This is known as moisture condensation, and it is the main reason coffee becomes moldy quickly. If you use moldy coffee without realizing it, you may be consuming small amounts of mold toxins. This is particularly dangerous for seniors because the liver and kidneys at this age no longer detoxify the body as efficiently as they once did. On the other hand, when stored and used properly, coffee can offer many health benefits. In a study published in the journal Nutrition Reviews, scientists found that caffeine in coffee can help improve alertness, increase focus, slow cognitive decline, and reduce the risk of Parkinson's disease in older adults. Coffee also contains antioxidants that help protect muscle and nerve cells from free radical damage, one of the causes of joint degeneration, muscle fatigue, and electrolyte imbalances that lead to cramps. However, to gain these benefits, you need to drink coffee made from clean, properly stored ingredients and in the right amounts. For older adults, it is best to have one small cup per day, about 100 to 150 milliliters, and avoid drinking it in the evening to prevent trouble sleeping. Coffee should not be consumed on an empty stomach, as it can increase stomach acid secretion. If you are taking medication for high blood pressure, heart conditions, or diabetes, consult your doctor before drinking coffee to avoid possible interactions with your treatment. So what is the correct way to store coffee? First, absolutely avoid putting coffee in the refrigerator. Coffee beans or grounds should be kept in airtight, opaque containers, away from light in a cool and dry place. The best option is to use a glass jar or a tin can with a tight-fitting lid. Avoid opening it too many times each day. If you buy coffee in large quantities, divide it into smaller portions and use one at a time. Limit the coffee's exposure to air because oxidation happens quickly and causes loss of aroma and active compounds. If you use instant coffee, make sure to check the production date, expiration date, and the condition of the packaging. Do not use instant coffee that is clumped together, changed color, or developed a strange smell. For roasted coffee beans, try to use them within 2 to 3 weeks after opening the bag. If you have a coffee grinder, grind only the amount you need before brewing to keep the flavor fresh. Coffee is a part of many people's lifestyle, and for older adults it can be a small joy each morning, but that joy will not be complete if it brings health risks along with it. So start with the simplest thing. Store your coffee properly. A small change in your daily routine can help you enjoy coffee to the fullest, in both taste and health benefits. Are you currently keeping your coffee in the refrigerator? Do you feel that its flavor is still the same as before? Leave a comment and share your experience. Your small story might help others improve their habits and enjoy a better day with a warm, flavorful cup of coffee. After going through these three very familiar foods, tomatoes, garlic, and coffee, you may now see that not everything becomes better, safer, or longer lasting just because it is placed in the refrigerator. On the contrary, the refrigerator that we trust and use every day can actually reduce the quality of food, damage its nutritional structure, and silently affect our health. This is especially important for older adults whose digestive system's immune defenses and joints have become more sensitive over time. Tomatoes, when chilled, lose a large amount of vitamin C and lycopene. This reduces their antioxidant power, makes them mushy and bland, and if eaten, often can affect digestion. Garlic, a powerful natural antibiotic, if minced and soaked in oil for too long in the fridge, can become a source of dangerous bacteria that may cause food poisoning, especially for those with weaker immune systems. And coffee, the symbol of energy and alertness, if stored the wrong way, can lose its aroma, become moldy, and lead to a drop in antioxidants, which negatively affects digestion and overall wellness. You see, taking care of your health is not just about choosing what foods to eat, but also about how you preserve and use them each day. Every small change in how you store your food, such as not placing tomatoes in the fridge, not leaving garlic and oil for too long, and not putting coffee in the cold compartment, is a step toward living a healthier, safer, and more complete life for yourself and your loved ones. If you found today's information helpful, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you will not miss the upcoming parts. We will continue bringing you more important knowledge and practical tips that are easy to apply in your everyday routine, helping you stay proactive in caring for your health in your senior years. And what about you? Among the three foods we discussed, have you ever stored any of them the wrong way? Which one surprised you the most? Feel free to leave a comment below and share your story. Your small experience could be a valuable lesson for someone else on the same journey as you. Wishing you good health, peace of mind, and the power to take control of small habits so you can build a bigger, more meaningful life each day. See you again in the next video.